Hello everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And here comes the subject of the video. Today's video. Come on, tiger. Up. Nope. Prairie came over, so she ran off. Prairie just wants, Prairie and... Yes, hi Prairie. Prairie and Tiger have an interesting relationship. Sometimes they're like buddies, and other times you think Prairie chases Tiger all the time, which she doesn't do. It's a strange relationship. But last time I shared about how I acquired my barn cats. And today I want to talk about how I turned them into barn cats that stay here. As I said before, my neighbor friend had some kittens, and I got 2 of them, and they were 9 months old, and I got them spayed for free. Don't touch the camera. Thank you, Prairie. And oh, she's gonna lay down. She's laying down right there. But the next step, when I brought him home, first of all, the vet said to keep him confined for a week. Well, my neighbors didn't do that, and they were okay. But they had these dissolvable stitches in them. But, excuse me. I first kept him in the dog crate that my neighbors had lent me. And then but I knew I couldn't keep them there for long. And so me and a different friend really worked hard at cleaning out the cabin. Spent a lot of time. The previous owners had left a lot of garbage. I mean, I had this huge box. I'm talking probably a yard by a yard by a yard. I mean, it was a big box. And it was full of baseball caps. And, that was just one of the things. There was just so much stuff. They had turned that cabin into a garage and just a dumping place. It was so full of stuff. So we had to clean it out. And in reality, I've never finished cleaning it out, but that's another story. But I got the worst of it out. And I made sure that the cats could not escape. And so one of the problems I had is the property these cats came from. These cats were born outside and had lived all 9 of their months in the same location, which was about 3 miles away. And so actually by air, probably less than that. And so I had a real fear that they would wander away, find their old home, and I would never be able to get them to come back here. And so my goal was that I wanted them to know this is home and that I am the best thing on the planet. And so I made the cabins totally cat-proof. I mean, that they could not get out. There was ways they could hurt themselves or whatever. I mean, there was still a lot of stuff in there, but they could not get out. And half of this cabin is really a camper trailer that you pull behind a pickup truck. So it had a stove in there, refrigerator in there, a countertop, a camper. And they had just built the cabin over this camper. And so I took that countertop, and that's where I put their food and water. And every day, at least once a day, often twice a day, I would go in there, make sure they had the food and water, and I would just sit. There's a bench in there over where the tires would go. And so I would just sit on that bench. And at first they were absolutely terrified of me. They would completely hide. I wouldn't see them. But as the days went by, they started coming out of their hiding places. And eventually they would move around but keep their distance from me. And then they would come get closer, and eventually they were rubbing against my legs. And then by the time the month ended, I was able to pet these cats. And so by that time, I decided, it was the end of January, or it was January now. We were going through a nice weather pattern at the time. It wasn't cold or anything. I mean, winter cold. And so one day, I opened up the door. And they knew their food was in there, so they went out and they started checking out the place, but they would come back to that cabin because that's where their food was. And I kept working with them, and they got more and more and more used to me, and used to having human affection. And so that's how you take now these weren't feral cats. Their mother had definitely been dumped out here, and had definitely been an indoor cat. She tried to get into my friend's house. So their mother was used to people. And so my neighbors were able to pet the mother and pet the kittens and stuff. So they weren't really a feral cat, the two of them. But they were scared of me, terrified of me. And honestly, from the day I got them to today, if you show up at my place, you will not see Tiger. Now, Little Bit eventually died. I still have Tiger. But never, people would be surprised that I had cats, because cats would just disappear. They could be right here on this table, and if they suddenly hear a truck driving down my driveway, gone. Even today. Do not like strangers. But once they get to know you, it's different. But still, they don't like strangers. So, so they're not feral cats, but they're a one-person cat. They have to know you. Well, as time went on, everything worked fine. And honestly, if you're getting cats, you want to keep them confined somehow, and let them get used to you and to know where home is. And you would think you wouldn't want to feed them, but if you don't feed them, they'll go somewhere else. And you don't need to feed them a whole lot because they're getting supplemented. In fact, I notice, like during the winter when there's not as much mice around here, I have to feed a lot more. Right now, 1 cup of food can last, 3-4 days. Anywhere between 2 to 4 days, 1 cup of food. And so I have Tiger has jumped up on the table. Prairie is licking her, actually. I know you can't see any of this. Yes. Sorry about that. I'll hold the camera up. Let me turn the camera around. So here's Tiger and Prairie. Now, one thing about barn cats, like Little Bit would disappear for days to a week on end and just show up again. And I never knew where she was. Kind of hope, the longer it would go on, I'd worry and stuff. But, they're barn cats. Things are going to happen. When Little Bit did die, I had to put her down. She had a blood clot that paralyzed her, and it was a bad situation. So Tiger has been attacked, I believe, by a bobcat, because there was a bobcat sighting on the property around that time. And she just had this big old gash, like lucky to be alive. And I took her to the vet, and because they cleaned her up and they gave her a shot of antibiotic that was supposed to last a week. I mean, the vet agreed it was a nasty cut, and I didn't want to lose her to an infection. Hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? But what I want to share with you this time, besides how to keep a barn cat at your place, is a problem that we started having. I had a ranch hand here at the time, and I had both cats. And even though I've got all these trees, and the cats use the trees, the cats also was using the door jamb to sharpen their nails. And of course, outdoor cats, you've got to keep their nails. I mean, they will die. I mean, it's a death sentence to take their nails away from cats. But I didn't want them destroying my house. And no matter what I did, they kept using the door frame as a claw sharpener. Well, after thinking about it for a very, very long time, my ranch hand came up with an idea. Something I happen to have around here on the property. Very similar to this, but only a foot long. And we just went to the hardware store and we found this metal corner thingy. I'm not even sure what it was its actual purposes for. But we got two and he put one on each corner and it's metal. Cats do not want to, it's not a cat sharpener. And that curbed the problem instantly. So if you're having a problem with outdoor cats using areas of your house for sharpening their claws, that might be a solution for you. I don't even remember what part of the store. I remember we asked for assistance and we told the guy what we were looking for, and he took us to, and it was probably in the window area, or I don't know what part. It was, Home Depot or Lowe's, something like that. And, and we found these, and these have solved the problem. So I just wanted to share that with you in case that's a problem you're having. Well, the last thing I want to share is, and I don't even remember what year it was. It's been, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. At least 2 or 3 years. But a little bit had been missing, and eventually I heard a cat crying under the house, and I crawled under, and in the insulation I found a little bit, and she had been paralyzed, and it's a saddle thrombus or something like that. It's a blood clot in a specific location that caused her basically to be paralyzed and have no control over her bladder, her legs. This cat, the vet said that this was definitely an issue where you put the cat down. It was a hopeless situation. And so I did, and that was a sad day, and Little Bit had lived a hard life because she had also been attacked by, I believe, a stray cat. I have evidence to believe it was a stray cat, and had made her go blind in one eye. So she'd had a rough life. But that cat had a spirit of, she just liked going off into the distance somewhere. She would go off in those hills and valleys, and I'm not sure where off she went to, but she would just disappear. And to be cooped up, she would never have been happy as a house cat. Never. She was truly an outdoor cat. Well, I noticed a change in this girl, Tiger. Now, Little Bit and Tiger are litter mates. So this was the first time, when Little Bit died, it was the first time Tiger was ever alone. And I really would have liked to get a friend for Tiger, another cat. But Tiger, both Little Bit and Tiger never, they did not want other cats coming around here. They would chase them off, do whatever, or be afraid of them, whatever the situation is. They were not friendly and not welcoming to other cats. So I cannot get another cat until Tiger is no longer living. So it's just Tiger. Now she's doing her job. I still do not get mice in my house. I've had several of them in the feed room, but never in the house. So that's a good thing. But since Little Bit died, Tiger spends a lot more time. She used to be more unfriendly. I mean, she would like to be petted occasionally, but not very often. But now that she's an only cat, it is frequent. It's rare that she doesn't hang out on the stairs. And I will let, Prairie will ask to go out to pee, 2 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, whatever, 6 in the morning. And Tiger will be here on the banister waiting for me. It seems, now it's not every day, but it's like super, super frequent. When the weather's nice, it's not raining, she'll be here. And, my bedroom window is right there. I can see her outside this window. And, I really enjoy it. I love looking out the window and seeing my kitty cat. I love opening the door and hearing that meow and seeing Tiger right here. And maybe I only have time to do 1 or 2 pets as I'm walking down the stairs. But I enjoy having, even though she's a barn cat, I really do enjoy having a cat that likes some affection, likes to be petted. Can't always give her the attention she wants, and sometimes she doesn't. There are days, weeks where she's not interested in a lot of affection, and then other times like now she wants a ton of it. But she's my cat, and I love this cat. And so I hope the little bits of information I've shared in this video and the previous one on how I got this, I got the cats and how I got them spayed and how I got them used to being here. I hope it helps you if in your quest to get some barn cats or not have reproducing cats on your property, whatever the situation is. So, I hope this information has helped you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you liked it, please click the thumbs up button. Share it with anybody in any groups or anybody who may be having this issue. Comment below. Subscribe if you haven't done that. All of that really does help us who have YouTube channels. So, hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching, and you take care.